Welcome to Artist Spotlight Live. As you know, today we have talented young ladies. We have she and Blu, otherwise known as Nova WAV. How y'all doing?
We good. We good. How you?
Amazing.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. So we got a lot of questions. I'm sure they got a lot of questions. So let's just dive in. So where are you both from? Right. Let's start with that. And then what got y'all interested in music beginning, even before you guys met?
Well, my name is Blu. For those of you that don't know, I'm from Tallahassee, Florida. Go ahead, Chi.
And I'm Chi. I am from like around Tampa, Florida. It's called Plant City. But I've lived in Atlanta for a good little minute, since I was 14. So I'm half and half, I'd say.
When did y'all first start get the music bug or the writing bug or whatever?
Oh man, I don't know. I could just say it was just something that's been innate for me. Like all my family, like I grew up in church, and like my grandfather and my uncles, everybody's like they're preachers. So my mother sang, my dad sang. So I think it's just something that just was kind of in me. Just naturally, I just kind of grew into it. But I played sports growing up, so I kind of like put the singing part and the creative part kind of on the back burner until I graduated from college, and that's when I really kind of began to hone into it, hone my craft for like writing and producing. So I didn't dive in until I was like a little bit older, but it was always there though. Like it was something I just would like keep a secret.
My mom would say that when I was a youngin', that they had an organ. My granddad had an organ, and I would just get on it 2-3 years old and just kind of just play around on it, make up songs. And then again, doing band, I did marching band. I randomly heard this guy in my high school hallway, and he was this rapper. He was like, yeah, I make my own beats on Fruity Loops. So that day I went home, I downloaded Fruity Loops. I would make like rap songs for my voicemail in high school. Like it kind of was just in me, like she said. Like it was innate for sure.
Gotcha. And when did you two actually meet?
Well, she was producing for for a rapper. Like she was making beats and stuff, and she was producing for some guys in my city. So I was like going around, I was hustling, trying to do just connect with people, and I was writing hooks for people in Tallahassee. And somebody played a beat, and I was like, this beat is cold. So I did a hook to it, and the guy shout out Short Deezy, and he was like, yo, it's a girl who produced the track. You should connect with her because she's actually looking for an artist and a writer. So and then they sent her the track, and she was like, yo, who was the girl singing on the track? So it was kind of like we found each other, and then we would just send each other. She would send me tracks, I would send it back. And I mean, after like working for like 6 months or something, she was just like, yo, you should just quit your job and just move to Atlanta. If you move, we're gonna be big. And I moved, and the rest was history.
Right. And did y'all have any like mentors or guidance? Did you get like a manager? Y'all just like, how did you approach, how did you handle like approaching the labels or the artists or the A&R and stuff like that? Did you just y'all just figured it out? Did y'all get some help, or how did that go?
I will say that, well, like collectively, we've never had any type of management or anything like that.
Really?
I mean, honestly, it was literally just grinding. I mean, just like putting ourselves in positions like, whether it was like picking up everything from moving from Atlanta and moving to LA, just meeting people, a lot of word of mouth. But the thing about it is, I try to tell people all the time, is like you can meet a bunch of people. You can meet a bunch of people, or you can meet one person that's gonna change your life. As long as you got a product, you got everything you need. In the midst of like meeting people and going to record pools and doing all this stuff, like we were creating. So when we met the right people, we had the right product. So at that point, we were able to build relationships from that point. But I had a manager earlier on, but it didn't work out the way that I wanted it to. But it was I don't think you actually necessarily need anything like that. But we don't have management to this day.
Even now.
Even now.
No management.
To this day.
No management. Yeah, to add on to what she said, it is about alignment. So like she said, it's not necessarily about finding a bunch of different people, but it's just about alignment. So we aligned together. That made one energy. And then, you know, she got signed to a publishing deal before I did. That was another alignment. We met a football player that, you know, bought us equipment, and the relationship didn't quite last, but that was another alignment to help us to utilize tools and things like that. And then you know, we got signed by Warner Chappell with Ryan Press, and so that's, you know, that's another alignment that it's been good. It's been good. So like she said, it's about alignment. It's definitely about alignment, and you just never know who you're gonna run into, which is the one.
No, and I want to give y'all props. I don't want to gloss over that, because when my very first artist spotlight in Dallas, you know, I remember the songwriters coming up to me and saying, "Yo, how can I get a manager? I need a manager." I said, "Well, bro, you need something to manage." You know what I mean? Like, and it's like the proof that you still, because the manager, I think some people think that the manager is going to be this like secret key. Like, nah, bro. Like they're really supposed, like you said, handle the invoices when you can't handle it anymore. But they're not trying to. No, first of all, nobody going to work harder than you are, you know, so get that off the top.
No, I was just going to also say, like she said, it's really about having a product. Like nobody, no manager, no publisher can shop anything if you got 2 songs, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to literally have the product. Like we have people hitting us up like, "Oh, how do I get a publishing deal?" Or "How do I get signed to a record label?" And da-da-da-da. And it's like, listen, if you don't have 10 songs in the tuck that's just super bomb, don't even worry about that. Like that's secondhand.
The thing is, well, how about this? I wanna before we dive into as far as the process of y'all writing and everything, who inspired you as far as writing?
It's so many to name. Tweet, shout out Tweet. I mean, Kanye, Lauryn Hill, Jay Z. Just, I mean, that's like beginning. I mean, we're not even reaching back into the crates when our mom was playing like Sade and like the Isley Brothers, and we ain't even talking about all that. But just like, I would say definitely like for me, like Tweet and like Lauryn Hill were super big inspirations. Like, like as I started to dive more into like trying to figure out how to write songs, like she was one of my biggest inspirations as well. Yeah.
I say more so me, it was definitely Jay and Ja Rule. I'm not necessarily like the greatest vocalist, but at the end of the day, I really fell in love with Ja Rule when he would rap and have melody to it, and he'd have harmonies, and you know what I'm saying? And that's really more so like my thing when, you know what I'm saying, when I'm on that side of it. So I say probably Ja and Jay Z for sure.
Let's dig into a little bit as far as the process, not production, but the songwriting. How do you guys handle? What's your process? Do you guys work on the beats first?
Most of the time, like the track comes first. I mean, if it's just like even just a loop, it don't even have to be the full track. Usually the hook, not the hook, but the melody comes first, and then it just kind of works its way. Like we don't usually do like hooks first and like how most people write. We just do like a melody and just kind of just like freestyle, and most of the words are there when we finish, and then we just write to it, you know.
Who's more the melody person or leaning? I know you both do both of things, right? But who's more goes right to the lyrics, and who goes right to the melodies? Mostly on y'all, between you.
I go right to the melodies for sure. In the lyrics.
Yeah. She's man, second to none. I remember she probably would kill me in this moment if we could relive it. But I remember the first time we met Beyonce, and I was like, "Yo, I told Blue, ain't nobody can outsing her but you." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she probably was like so embarrassed, but I was like, "Yo, like, it's $100 grand. That's my man." Like, so yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing.
Nice. Now, which leads me to, when did you? Because I think if I'm not, my research is right, y'all started your first kind of hit around like 2012. Is that right? About that time period? Okay. At what point or what song or what project were you like, you know what? we got this. And you kind of walked in there with a little bit more of an assertiveness and confidence in what you were trying to tell them to do.
I'll let you go, Chief.
You know what? So we're big about everything being about God, right? So a lot of times before we get to the session, we'll pray together, just us two. We'll pray in the car. You know, God, let your energy fill the room. Let this be about you. Let you give us divine creativity, et cetera, et cetera. So in a sense, you know, we're leaning on that, but you know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just it's one of those things.
She being modest. I'm gonna let you know.
You're being way modest. Like, come on now.
She being modest. We ain't got time for that. All right, so
Talk.
boom. All right, boom. So I say this is when we really was like, okay, cool. You know, we got our swag. I would say like around. Most people probably would think it would be like when we had our first placement with Rihanna, but I think it was more so after the Kehlani record, the Crazy record, because it was like 100% record. And it's like, you know, I think that's when we were kind of like, okay, we know what we're doing. We know how to craft a song from top to bottom without anybody's help, without anybody else in the room, without any direction. You know, if you can do that and you can make these labels go crazy, then it's like, you know, okay, you got something, you know. We didn't have to ask nobody, get any validation. It was us. So I think that's the moment where we found our like swag and our, you know.
You're right about it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now let's switch it. So you writing hits, right? You got these Grammy noms and everything, and then you say we want to make beats. What made y'all want to say we want to change it up and do this too?
We was on that jump though.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, Blu.
No, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, honestly, we've been doing that since before we started. So I think what it is we've done the circuit of, okay, so there's 5 million great producers and there's like 6 great songwriters in the industry. So we've had to, a lot of times other producers, they will have the link on an artist. So say how we met Beyonce, we started our relationship with her in 2014, was Hit Boy had a writer that canceled on him in the studio. And so, you know, we were called to come and do the job. So a lot of times the producers and the artists have people that they work with, but they don't have great songwriters. So we've been doing it before. We've just made a lot of footwork doing the songwriting in the meantime. Okay.
And what are y'all using now? Just curious, as far as talk some gear talk. What are you using, like software? What are you using, MPCs? Like, are you still?
So we do tracks in Ableton right now. We record vocals in Pro Tools. Software. Say favorite VST would be, of course, Omnisphere, Output by Arcade. Let's do a third one. And Serum, maybe. We're heavy supporters of our company that we deal with called Splice, which is really good.
You deal with Splice a lot?
Janet Splice, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just high quality, especially drum sounds. Like, you know, at the end of the day, it's just no excuses not for your drum sounds to be like high quality, because people are giving them out. Like, it's just, they're just giving them out at this point. So, yeah, Splice. Of course, we have it with the auto tune. We love auto tune.
Auto-tune.
What's that?
Saving lives out here, making money. And then really loving the Ozone bundle, the mastering Ozone bundle.
Gotcha, sweet.
Really dope. Yeah.
Gotcha. How do you handle, as far as when if and when you have other writers or producer, as far as handling your split? So even if it's the artist to say, well, I want to write a little bit to this, because a lot of people, you know, it's like, it's kind of funny after you leave the studio, people get amnesia. So how have you guys managed to handle that, get all of your credits, get all of your publishing, et cetera, and still keep your relationship?
I mean, honestly, we've just been fortunate enough to really deal with some people, some level-headed people with some sense, you know? And if it ever, you know, at any point gets kind of weird, we hope we stand our ground. You know, I think those days of when it's like, okay, cool, I wrote this line and you wrote that line, like, You know, usually now, like, you know, some sessions, whoever's in, you know, whoever was a part of the record, you split the record evenly, you know, but you have some cases where it's not as even. So, you know, it's just up to you to be like, listen.
Yeah, and to add on to that, in the pop rooms, what pop producers and writers and artists are doing, say it's 5 or 6 people in a room, like she said, everybody's going to allocate everything equally. Like, it doesn't really matter what you did, what you didn't do. So we try to introduce that into the urban world, just to keep the camaraderie up, and just let's get money together. Let's not, you know, let's not create any bad energy around this record. So yeah, we try to do it the pop way, if anything.
What do you have a preference at all? Do you still, I mean, I know you're talking about R&B, but do you like either one, or is it things that you like doing that side of the pop better than urban, or is it?
That's a good question. No, that's a good question. Chi, you want to handle?
If there's a preference of pop or R&B or rap, or
you like most from either one, or?
You know what I do like about pop right now is that they're integrating a lot of the things that we do. So it's been fortunate for people like us, because they're really like, yo, let me step back and take a back seat to what you guys do, and then I'll, you know, put my pop sauce on it. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of respect over there. So I think at the end of the day, like, it's been good collaborating just on all of it, because you can kind of just make your own thing. Like, we've been making trap, you know, country records, you know, you're free to do whatever you want to do at this point, for sure.
Yeah. So to add to that though, like,
like
the thing I love about like the urban side, is it's just like, to me, it's a little bit more free flowing, and it's just a little bit more like natural. So it's not as like mathematic and thought out. It's kind of just like whatever you feel, it's a feeling. And so that's what I came up on. So sometimes it's easier for me. I find more success in that vein, because I don't know. I don't have to think about it as much.
Mm-hmm. It just flows naturally. The environment just flows naturally. I get you. Yeah. How would you suggest, because a little bit of time has lapsed since y'all got in the game, it was a little bit different, right? We didn't have so much social media as we do now. So what would you suggest to begin networking and getting noticed as both writer and producer today, if you had to start today?
Again, for me, it's about the product. Literally, as long as you got some product, it's gonna happen. Like, nobody's passing up a hit record. Like, if you got a hit record, email it to like 20 inbox 20 A&Rs. That somebody's gonna hear it, and somebody's gonna be like, yo, I can't pass up on this. So to me, again, it's about the product, because I'm not passing up. Send it to me, I'm not passing up on it. You feel me? Like,
yeah.
So
I mean, you got people that still listen to records, you know, and let's just be real, like, it's oversaturated, you know. So I mean, you literally just casting your thing into the pond,
right,
and waiting on something to bite, you know. But it's like she said, it's all about having a product, and I don't know, just I mean, following as many, just figuring out who everybody is, following the right people, you know. And I see A&Rs all the time, and execs posting their email, because they're always looking for stuff, always looking for something, fresh ideas, fresh writers, fresh producers, fresh artists, or whatever. So just following the right people, and just being ready whenever they put that email out, being ready to send those links, and just, you know, look out for that reply.
Mm-hmm.
Product.
You've done some writing for a few films, and just wanted to know, is that something that you guys are going to consider, not just film, but exploring other mediums to put your songs into? Is that something you guys would explore? Video games, whatever?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we pretty much done them all. We have something coming out in the video game. So yeah, we have something coming out in the video game.
Oh, that's dope. Okay.
But yeah, we pretty much delve into it all. Like, we don't discriminate, you know. If they need music and they're giving out a bag, no way.
Now, so it's because you guys are coming from a place where you went from like the top of the mountain as far as who you already worked with. So who's left on your wish list now, if anybody?
Let's see, Drake.
That's the second time you put Drizzy out there.
Drake. I know you're playing, but no, for
top 5, and then to make another round with the greats we've already hit.
Yeah.
The next Rihanna album, the next Ariana album, the next B album, the next DJ Khaled album. Let's circle it again, and but Drizzy Drake probably who we haven't worked with yet.
Oh, you know who I like? I saw somebody say I like Giveon. I don't know if he's signed, but he's super dope. Is he from Toronto? He's really dope. I like him. I mean, we always looking for fresh, new artists to work with. But those are just the heavy hitters that we're
right.
Sure. Yeah. And honestly, with us, we're not turning anything down. So it could be an artist, say, that just got signed to any label, Atlantic, Warner, whoever. Like, we're zooming with those people. They could be a nobody, a no name. Like, as long as they have the talent, we there. We there for sure.
So I'm gonna ask both of you this question: if you could go back to the 2012 when you first got started to now, what is 1 or 2 things that you would have done differently as far as your career?
Oh,
anything.
I always gotta say this. I think in a lot of ways, I was just fearful, just because there were just things I didn't know, So like I told somebody before, I just would be brave. I would have been braver sooner, just took more chances sooner, because there was really nothing to be fearful about at the end of the day. Like, I was in my own way. So, creativity is just creativity, Don't worry about who's judging you. Don't worry about if you don't sound like this and you don't sound like that. Just be yourself. Know you got something special, and just know if it's anything special is going to float to the top, So that's what the advice I would give myself, for sure.
Definitely be braver sooner. Shout out to our homie Teresa La Barberis Whites. She worked with Beyonce for a very, very long time, and she was who we got that mantra from. So again, shout out to her. Like, just like she said, being braver sooner. Like, just go, just do it. Just do it. Stop putting it off. Stop procrastinating. And I would also say, learn as much about your craft as possible. Even when you're not feeling motivated to go and write or produce or whatever, sit down and lay in the bed and watch some tutorials, or listen to some music from the 1800s and take what you like from it. Or there's always time for you to be learning or doing something regarding to your craft. So I'd definitely say that as well.
But you guys tend to handle your own as far as the mixing and the technical part, the vocal production, the stacking the vocals and that kind of end of it? Or do you kind of rely on, is there somebody you rely on for your mixing and the back end to make the record just kind of pop? Or do you guys kind of take that on as well? Because you got so much, you're producing, you're writing, do you feel the need to have somebody to kind of, okay, here's the gold, make it sound good? Or do you want to be a part of that too?
I mean, it depends. If it's a major artist and they're putting out the record to the world, then somebody else is gonna mix it for sure, or actual mixer. But as far as like our demos and stuff like that, we do all of that on our own. We do the mixing, the mastering. And yeah, you'd be surprised how like people will hold themselves back because they're like, oh, the mix isn't that great and da da da. But professionals can hear through a mix. Like,
exactly.
I've even seen in terrible songs like mix wise, and I'm like, oh, this is God, and it still plays. Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think people should worry so much about that unless you're putting it out to the world.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you deal with when you just get a block? If you get a writer's block and you got a deadline, but you're just like, man, it's just not, you know what I mean? Has that happened before? And if so, how'd you handle it?
Yeah, it happens.
Oh, really? Okay.
Frequently. I mean, it's sometimes it's just that, sometimes you might have a deadline and you've done it already twice and they want you to try again, wow. And then it's just a matter of perseverance at that point, you said you wanted it and you got to go get it, you just got to fight through it. And I mean, I guess how we stay creative and how we stay motivated and inspired is just doing it often, you know, it's just like muscle memory, just like anything else. Once you do it enough, then it gets easier and easier. But I mean, we have bad days, you know, and sometimes I'm just like, yo, this song is not happening. I slam my computer down and I go do something different, you know, come back to it and try it again. So I don't think it's like a science to it. It's just whatever works for you. You know, I hear this question a lot, like, how do you get over writer's block? How do you get over writer's block? You just gotta push through it.
Yeah.
You literally gotta push through it. Because it can last forever if you allow it to,
Right.
you know?
Zone out, do something else, watch a movie, listen to some other music. I got you. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay to have your moment. Just don't have it forever. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I probably had a moment the other day and I'm like, okay, but I still gotta push through.
I did too. But, you know, I gotta work.
And just close that computer, watch a movie.
Go to sleep.
And go to sleep.
A lot of people here that probably like, well, I don't know. I think a guy said, I don't know anybody. You know, how do I start to at least be around these people and not look like I'm a, you know, a stan or whatever? Can you delve into that just a little bit?
That's a great question for you, Chi.
That's low key shade. Go ahead.
Like I'm the person who's actually gonna listen to every single email. So you do. It's just who are you emailing is the question. No, I mean, you know, there's a certain level of persistence, and some people are gonna be annoyed by your persistence, and some aren't.
Right.
If the person is not responding, and you've sent a couple different things, you know, give it a little time before you send something. Make sure you're sure the next time that you send something. And then at the end of the day, I mean, it's a thin line. It's just a thin line. It's a thin line. I know I've gotten on people's nerves before. People get on my nerves. You know, it's just one of those things. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta take that L. Yeah.
Yeah, throw your net out there and see what you catch.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
You might, somebody might like that. They might think that's, you know, a sign of being passionate or something. You never know, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I get some super persistent people at times, but, you know, honestly, it makes them stand out. I'm always like, okay, cool. You know, it ain't overbearing. It ain't too much, but it makes them like, you know, I'm like, okay, I know, at least I know your face. I know your name, you know? So if you do send me something, I'm actually going to listen to it, because I'm always waiting on that one time for it to be amazing, you know?
That's right.
But
That's
yeah,
right.
so that's how that works.
Where do you guys see yourselves 5, 10 years? What are your goals? What do you want to happen? What do you want to see manifested?
Oh man, definitely we want to have an artist, or we want to put out our own project for sure. And maybe like a label. I mean, do an app. I don't know, just so many different things. Like it's hard to say, because it's always changing, but definitely putting out a project and having an artist, you know, having our own imprint for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think actually winning some Grammys that we're actually on the Grammy stage for. You know, we're hoping for that.
Oh yeah, actually holding the trophy.
Actually holding the trophy on stage. Prayers up for that.
It's gonna come.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's happening. It's happening.
It's got to. It's got to.
Of course, it's just, yeah. But as far as business, music, whatever, speak on that a little bit as far as if you're coming up, being a female in this entertainment business.
I think a lot of it is knowing where your grace lies. So some people feel like, you know, as a woman, they could push too much, and some people don't. I know, you know, people praise us for picking up the phone and calling whoever manager, and just being forward and being present and being sure of yourself. Like, you have to be sure of yourself, and the way to be sure of yourself is to put in work. There's like no such thing as like just confidence that falls out of the sky. It's about putting in the work. It's about just creating an energy that that says I'm here, but I'm not doing too much. My product is gonna back that up for me.
And not necessarily even thinking about being a woman, you know. knowing you have that feminine essence and that's a power, but when you walk in the room knowing that there has to be equality and that you're equal, not saying, okay, I'm a woman, I gotta move a certain way, not try to be too emotional, not try to be this and that, but knowing that you're talented enough to get the job done, and that's just it, that's all you need. So yeah.
So your work ethic and your talent, it almost exudes the confidence for you, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that.
Especially for us. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, why are you guys so humble and da 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 da, and it's not really like a front, and honestly we feel like we haven't done enough, like genuinely. And so we're just literally like, thank God that it's panning out a little bit. It's not bad, you know what I'm saying? So I think having that humbleness too about your craft and your spirit, it keeps you in line.
Do you think that's just that being humble and being the way you guys are and open has helped you any as far as how you've advanced?
Absolutely. People gotta like you.
Okay.
Your reputation precedes you, so it's like, people gonna talk about you before anything. So I know a lot of the things that we've gotten is just literally because people just like, I just like NOVA WAV, and they gonna deliver, so for sure. My grandma always said, oh, honey catches bees,
Mm-hmm.
So we just take that with us everywhere we go. And we know who's leading us and who's guiding us. So we know we never get too far ahead of ourselves, because we know at any point this can all be taken away,
So I think y'all are really spiritually grounded too. I think I hear a lot of that. So that has a lot to do with it too, I'm assuming, right?
For sure. Absolutely.
Got it.
Yeah, and then again, like not you never know who the next person is going to take you to, right? So again, I interned at Grand Hustle, and then I happened to meet a football player, and then I met another football player, and then I this, that, and the third. So just because you're not meeting the head of Atlantic Records doesn't mean that whoever you do meet won't lead you there. So being open-minded about meeting people.
And just to add to that too, like, you can't put the carriage before the horse. And I see a lot of people say like, oh, this person's sleeping on me, they sleeping on me, or this and that, and they have this bitterness about them. And you got to realize, like, whatever energy you're carrying is gonna pulsate. People feel things ain't gonna work out if you got this this negativity about your way of thinking or whatever. And it's not necessarily that people are sleeping on you. Sometimes it's just not the time. And sometimes it's just not sending the material to the right person. But most of the time, it's just not the time. Because if you send me 10 records and you think that I'm the person that's going to get you to the next level, and I hear those 10 records and I don't respond to you, well, obviously I didn't hear anything that I loved.
That's right.
But it ain't that I'm sleeping on you. It's just that sometimes it's time for you to get better,
That's right.
Or maybe just send it to somebody else. But, don't walk around carrying this chip on your shoulder. Anybody that we've ever sent music to that didn't respond or whatever happened, we see them today. We don't have an issue with them. They weren't the right person, or it just wasn't the right time. And that's clear.
What point do you feel like a song or beat is finished, or at the point where you don't need to add more ideas to it?
Oh.
Yeah, I like that, right?
That's a good question. What you think?
I don't know. It's just a feeling. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to.
That is a hard one.
It's a hard question, because sometimes what sounds complete to me might sound incomplete to somebody else. So it's just whenever it's to your liking, you can't overthink this thing, because it's like the songs that we spend the most time on are the songs that take the longest to place, and the songs we spend 15 minutes on are the songs that literally people love. So it's just, I don't know. It's all about
it's about the flow for sure, the energy in it. And I will say, Drake is like the master of like, I got 5 sounds and this is a hit record. So there is no when you're done, when you're not. It's about the energy of the record. Like, just try to be as great as Drake. When you could just be as great as Drake, then you got it. You got it. Don't even worry about it.
What would Drake do?
What would Drake do? Say all the time, right?
Like, man, what would Drake say right here? We got to do a Drake line right here.
No, for real. Like, we try to go bar for bar. Like, we like, to us, it's like, I don't know.
Somebody just said that. They said that, have you ever had a big difference of opinion?
Oh, all the time.
Like one of y'all was like, I'm not bending on this, like a real, not like, oh, not this word change. Just, I mean, like.
It doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, whoever is somewhat the lead of whatever we're talking about, usually that person makes the indecision. Like,
okay.
Or if it's like, if Blu's really like, yo, I really just hate this, I'm like, okay, I'll change it. I'll take it out.
Like on Crazy, like on Kehlani Crazy, for instance, you were trying to make me change like the hook, like the melody, and I was just like sticking to it. I was like, I'm not changing this hook.
It was one little part though. It was one little, I was like, okay, I just want this melody to be the same all the way across. And we went back and forth on it. And then like the third time we played it, I was like, all right, you right. You got it. You got it.
Yeah. We trust each other, so it just works.
Yeah, for sure.
You got that trust factor. You're right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and then, one thing I will say is people need a partner. You need a partner in some way, whether it is a manager or it is another creative. There's a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. He talks about the mastermind principle. We have a group of people that are on one accord. They have the same end goal. So that's why things work out for Blu and I, because at the end of the day, we can't necessarily really, really do the same thing. Like we do the same thing, but we don't. So we have each other to like bounce off of. And again, like she said, we trust each other's opinion.
Oh my gosh. 2020 Jam and Lewis all over again. How do you keep up with the industry without losing your confidence and or creativity? So I guess what they mean is like the hustle and bustle, the griminess, whatever. How do you stay intact with all that right now?
Shutting it off sometimes. Sometimes I just shut off. Like I just get off of Instagram, I get off of Twitter, I get off of TikTok, whatever. And I just like, okay, I get back to like the basic foundation. Because sometimes I mean, like, I don't care how much success you achieve. There's always somebody else coming up, inching up towards you. It's so many different writers, so many different producers, so many different artists. And sometimes you can, like, if you don't ground yourself, you can start to feel like super competitive or, start comparing yourself. And I think it's just sometimes just getting away, disengaging from everything, and just focusing on you. And, whoever's closest to you. What about you, Chief?
Yeah, and like we said earlier, take your moment to get a peace of mind. And honestly, everybody, it's not one person, not one creative, not one artist, one singer, one producer that does not feel the heat of the industry on their back. Every last person, from the top person in my phone, feels that energy of, oh my God, I'm not good enough. Oh my God, nothing's happening. Oh my God, like everybody. So you take that moment, deal with it, understand what it is, but it's really just an indicator of I'm not living to my highest degree, my best self. So what can I do to make sure that I'm feeling that energy? And it's literally just to put in the work, and it'll work out.
The best time is the time you have now, your preparation period. This is the best time you're gonna have. Trust me, because when that fire get on you and it's time to get it, it's a lot of pressure, y'all, and it ain't as easy. A lot of pressure. You got to work to keep it up. It ain't easy to keep it up, So just enjoy the time, enjoy the preparation period, and when it's your time, it'll manifest.
Last piece of advice from both of you, whether they're trying to be artist, producer, record executive, give them like one little piece of advice that you've learned through the last 10 years or so that can help them to get to the next step in their career.
I would just say, strengthen your network. Get close to the people that you're, work closely with the people that you're connected to. Work as much as you can to make each other better. And you guys utilize all the strength that you have around you. She and I are just two totally different people, two totally different personalities, two totally different creatives. So work your strengths and just let it work for you.
Cool.
For sure. And I would say make decisions for yourself as if you are almost outside of yourself and you're looking at yourself as a character. So
ooh, that's a good one.
That's great.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. So, make the decisions that you would see for a character. and how do they become great? How do they have the best movie ever of all time? You know what I'm saying? Make those decisions for that character, and that character being you.
Oh, that's great. Look at you. See?
I gotta
See why we work?
Woo! You got a partner right there, Blu. Good God. Oh man, well, yeah, you guys, this has been a great interview. I'm really proud of what you guys have done, from managing yourselves to working with these incredible artists, and most proud about how really your attitude and just your demeanor. You know, I mean, you guys can have every right to, you know, be braggadocious, but you seem very well-grounded and appreciative and humble, and that's, I know, it's going to take you the furthest than any record will. Even though y'all got some heat, you know what I mean? Not taking away from that. Like, you know,
support us, follow us, send us some heat, because we always looking for heat. Please send us some.
do you have an email or anything that you want to?
Yes, the email is I am the THE.
Let me type it in too.
You wanna like?
You can say it, but I'm gonna type it in.
Okay, it's I'm the one for Nova Wave at gmail.com. That's where you send everything.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Stay safe.
I had a lot of fun. We'll talk, okay?
All right.
Peace, everybody.
Nice. Thank you.